Hey beautiful, yes, I'm actually talking to you. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've actually been here before. Super grateful for your company. Today I'm actually so excited, like mad excited, because we are going to be doing our fall 2020 hair growth challenge. And let me tell you, not only are we going to be using rice water, which we all know is boss for hair growth, we are also going to be using FENUGREEK. So get ready to potentially triple your hair growth. On top of that, I'm also going to be taking supplements. So I'm going to be taking my MSM and vitamin C. And on the Facebook group and in the Instagram DMs, you guys have been hitting me up with your results. They have been amazing for previous growth challenges. So we're all about to get it in again. Let's go. Right, but before we get into today's video, I need to give a massive thank you and shout out to our sponsors. Skillshare have sponsored our video for today. If you didn't know, it's an awesome online community where there are literally millions of people coming together to learn all sorts of skills, whether it's in illustration or Photoshop or growing your brand online or online marketing. There are amazing classes for creatives and lifelong learners, something to suit pretty much everyone. Currently, I have been loving learning about Lightroom and how you can use it to form a cohesive Instagram feed. Been working on that, and also I have been enjoying just getting lost in some painting and watercolor courses as well. Definitely something for everyone, and for a limited time only, if you click the link in the description box below, you will get 2 months of absolutely free access to the premium membership. It's normally like $10 a month, so not bad even on a regular day anyway. So if that is of interest, definitely check them out below. But in the meantime, let's get into today's video. Okay, so you are not going to have a rice water challenge without some rice. So yeah, your girl can catch. We are going to be using, well, I'm actually going to be using black rice, which is whole grain rice. You can use any rice for this challenge. In fact, the Yao women who we're going to be emulating here as best as we can, they actually use plain white rice. You can use jasmine rice, basmati rice. I'm going to be using this because the last time we did the challenge, a few of you hit me up and said the black rice gave much better results than the white rice. So I just want to see how true that is for myself. And if you didn't know, the reason I actually fell in love with rice and decided, hey, I want to do this again, is because the last time we tried this, I was in a desperate situation. I was literally losing hair at the front, 2 golf ball size bald patches here, and every time I washed my hair, the clumps was coming out literally that big, and this was postpartum after my son. So I did the challenge, and after 3 days, I kid you not, I was shocked that my bald patches started to fill in at the front. So this is a really critical part of our challenge. It contains amino acids, starches, which are really good for the cuticle of the hair, smoothing. It's a really good pH as well. And also it contains inositol, which has been linked to increase hair growth, amongst many other nutrients. So we're definitely going to be needing some of this. Okay guys, so the Yao women actually use pomelo peel in their rice water. We're going to really try with this recipe to emulate exactly what they do. Now, pomelo is not so widely available, so if you can't get your hands on it, any citrus fruit will do. The closest thing to pomelo is actually grapefruit, but I don't have that to hand. I actually have satsuma and I have a lime, and I'm going to actually be using the peels of these. These really help with shine, pH, manageability of the hair. It really helps with the smell as well, because we're talking about fermenting rice, and we're going to be fermenting it like the Yao. The Yao sometimes ferment it for like 3 months, a month. a week as a minimum. So I'm actually going to be doing it for a week fermentation, and this is going to come in really helpful to help with, you know, the stink. But not only that, it contains its own vitamins, its own minerals, including vitamin C, which of course you know is important for scalp health, for collagen production, and lots of micronutrients, minerals, and vitamins. Okay, so the other thing that the Yao women actually use is an oil in their boiling. Okay, so one of the complaints that you will get with rice water is, hey, my hair feels a little bit dry, it feels a little bit overloaded with protein. That's because you've got proteins and starches in the rice, of course, and they balance that out by using something called tea bran, which as they boil it releases oil. The other thing that they use is camellia oil, so they either use tea bran or they use camellia oil. So I'm going to have a link to some camellia oil in the description box below, but essentially we're going to be adding that in as we do the boiling, and we're going to be using this to keep our hair hydrated during the week as well. It's got fantastic properties. It really is a super moisturizing and yet very light oil as well. So if you have finer hair that's easily weighed down and butters don't suit you very well, this actually could be a really good call for you. It smells really not of much. It kind of has like a slight nutty undertone for it, and it's very well known as well for increasing hair growth, so it's a win-win. So of course we're going to be using my fenugreek oil. If you do not know, this was one of my oils that went absolutely viral. I have testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. I'm just going to put some of them on the screen here, of this oil really helping ladies with their hair growth. Literally, when I have meet and greets, I have people coming up to me who've had chemotherapy, alopecia, and I'm talking like, if you imagine the size of like a CD or a DVD, like these women had literally lost that much hair, and this helped them to regrow their hair and thicken it, and you know, over time of like about 3 months they saw a massive difference. So this is going to be utilized. Don't forget, fenugreek has iron, manganese, magnesium, lecithin, all that good stuff, which really helps to stimulate hair growth. And of course it's based in castor oil, and you can use olive oil, coconut oil as well. I'm going to link the video that has the full details down below if you want to make this up. If you're unable to, just put fenugreek seeds in castor oil and warm that up and use that as your substitute. It also works really quite well. So we're going to be using this every other day on our scalp. Okay, we can use it as a pre-shampoo treatment before we wash our hair, and then after wash day, not the next day but the day after, we'll be putting it into our scalp every other day. So another thing that you might want to include is essential oils, things like tea tree, rosemary, lavender, rosemary and lavender, as well as peppermint, all very well known to stimulate and promote hair growth. Again, there have been studies that have shown women who have female pattern balding and women who suffer from alopecia have actually been able to regrow hair using rosemary, lavender and peppermint blends. So you might want to put that into your rice water. Again, that will help with the smell, but it's also packing a punch as far as your properties too. Now, I'm actually going to be keeping things pretty simple, but one of the things that the Yao women actually do is they add herbs into the boiling of the rice. These are all the things that, like, honestly, when I look at other videos that have covered this topic, they don't actually make much mention of the fact that they're using cleansing herbs in the actual rinse. So I'm not going to be including this in mine, but if you are going to go hard, include a cleansing herb. So shikaikai is a cleansing herb, so is aretha, or you could do shikaikai and aloe vera powder, for example, and you can add that in. Or rasul clay is also a fantastic one. Okay, I'm not going to promise to do this consistently, but maybe on the actual wash day I will include that as part of my cleansing routine. So what the Yao women did is they would add these herbs, they would add the tea bran, which is the camellia oil alternative, and they would boil it with the pomelo all together and then use that, because they don't actually use any shampoo, so they need some kind of way of lifting grime and dirt from their hair. It's not just a rinse for them, it is literally everything. Okay, so now that I have told you about all of the different items and their benefits, let's just see how we're going to mix this up, how we're going to make our potion, and how we're actually going to utilize it. Boiling the rice and the rice water, but actually the Yao women boil just the water. The good thing about that is you can go on to actually use the rice in cooking. There's absolutely no waste. In fact, the water would have actually ended up being waste, if you get what I mean. So we're just going to boil that, and we're going to add our pomelo substitute, which is going to be our citrus fruit. We're going to add our camellia oil, which is what they use. They use this, or they use tea bran. Okay, and that allows their hair to be hydrated and not get super dry from the rice. As I said, add the tea bran, which actually releases oil, or they use camellia oil. It's unclear from my research the amount of oil that they use, but we're going to go with a teaspoon. So we are back in the kitchen. It's been simmering away. Honestly, I left it for about 15 minutes. So I just wanted to say that when you add your lemon peels, that's a really good time to add in any cleansing herbs you decide that you want to use, if you decide you want to use them. I'm going to keep it really simple, but I would suggest that you can add aretha, shikakai, or rasol into it, but I'm going to be using it not so much as a shampoo, more as a rinse. Okay, so we're going to go upstairs and I'm going to pour this into the jar that I'm going to leave it to ferment in, and we're going to talk about the routine. So here's my spray bottle. What I'm going to be doing is, now I'm going to be honest with you, it's water in there right now. It's just for demonstration purposes, okay? But this needs to brew for a little while. 3 days outside and 7 days in the fridge. Once that's done, I'm splitting that into 2 portions. One which I'm going to use as the rinse, and the other which I'm going to put into a spray bottle. Okay, so on day 1 of my 6-day cycle, I'm going to wash the hair, and then I'm going to get the rice water all the way from the scalp all the way to the ends. I'll use a bowl to catch what I'm pouring, and then just re-scoop it and keep pouring until all of my hair and scalp are completely saturated. Now on day 4, I may decide that I'm going to do the wash again. It'll be like a co-wash or something like that, and then do the rice water saturation. But most likely it's going to be that I just mist my hair and then apply my leave-in. So I'm going to go in front section, I'm going to mist, okay, and scrunch and apply my leave-in, and I'm going to really make sure I take my time and coat each strand, then go in with my leave-in afterwards just to make sure I'm sealing in moisture, and then I'll do the same to the back quarter of my hair, front quarter here, and then the back quarter. I think the key thing here is you don't have to follow exactly what I'm saying. Listen to your hair. If you find that just doing a rinse at the beginning of the week is enough for you, you stick with that. But the whole idea is just to be consistent, especially consistent with your scalp massages and being really, really careful with your hair and supplements as well. So I will see you in the main clip. Okay y'all, so that is how we've made it. Honestly, I've tried to make it as close as possible to what the Yao women do, with the only exception being that I'm trying black rice upon the recommendation of the people in the Facebook group. So just to let you know, the way that I'm going to be doing this is that I'm going to be washing my hair. After I've cleansed my hair, I'm going to be putting this in my hair from the roots all the way to the ends. I'm going to be having my head over in a bowl so I can just keep wetting my hair until it's completely saturated. Once that's happened, I'm going to leave it in for 15 minutes, then cover with my deep conditioner, leave that in for an hour and rinse. So on the day of my wash, I'm going to actually massage the fenugreek into my scalp. One of the things I really wanted you to note was I am not mixing the fenugreek and the rice water. I don't want to go into protein overload because I'm going to be using it long term, and whilst the rice water can be softening, just too much of a good thing can lead to an overload in your hair. So the fenugreek is going to be used in the scalp, and then the rice water is going to be chiefly sprayed on the hair, apart from when I use it in the rinse. Yeah, so they're not going to have contact, the fenugreek's not going to have contact with my hair in addition to the rice water, although both the rice water and the fenugreek will have contact with my scalp, giving all the growth benefits. Now, to really optimize the growth results that I'm going to be getting, I'm also going to be using MSM with vitamin C and a multivitamin. I'm going to have everything linked below so you can check it out in the description box if you want to pick up exactly the same things that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be facilitating that here on YouTube in my YouTube stories and live chats. I'm going to be showing you what I do when I do it. Like in the morning when I get up, if I spritz my hair down, I will hop on and I will show you me doing it in real time, whereas on the Facebook I'll be actually posting more kind of like information and text posts, etc. So please be sure to join the Facebook group, and please be sure to make sure notification bell is switched on so that you get all the notifications of my stories, etc. on YouTube. And the last thing I wanted to say was, could you please let me know below what you want to see in the next video, because your girl needs some inspiration, and hit me with a thumbs up because it's free and it supports the good content on my channel.